Greece. There goes Fritzy on a mission. Not sure what she's doing there. Okay, so this is your PSYOP free channeling. So this is a future timeline, 10th dimension, and Uranus channeling. So Uranus came through the webinar last night. Of course, I was doing the chat questions. The cord got caught under my chair, and then the whole thing went south. I was so worn out. So long day. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. So trying new things here and there. So future timelines, basically, it's not looking great. So it feels around April. Of course, this month there'll be, the Ukraine capital will probably go down probably next week. I felt this week, but things getting delayed. But either way, it's going to go down eventually. But this whole World War III situation is more done by the government, not by Russia. I don't think Russia's trying to liberate the world or anything like that. I don't think they have enough power for that. So we'll see where that's going to go. But I can see what Russia going against the U.S. That's mostly what it's about. I can see that definitely. But it doesn't mean that they want to. I don't feel like they want to invade other countries or anything like that. I guess with Ukraine, they had no choice. So, however you want to look at that. So, but I do see, they're trying to. This is pretty obvious through the media, trying to create World War III, and through the government, U.S. They say they're trying to prevent it, but I'm sure they are. And then the virus all of a sudden vanishes. How convenient. So, a new timeline comes through. So, new agenda. More chaos, more gas prices, unfortunately. I do see them bringing the gas prices down. They're just going to make us hurt for a while, and then they'll eventually bring them down. It's hard to always say. Not that this will happen. I do feel that they want, Biden's administration to be replaced. At least that's in the cards. In case things do fall apart everywhere. It's the energy is there. Not that will happen. So, lovely. 10th dimension and Uranus connection. So, future timelines, we'll see what else I can tap into overall. But it's been basically just obviously nothing new. Media and government propaganda. So, the media obviously is doing pretty good on this. I mean, they're making bank on it. That's what they're designed for. So, there is a lot of Anunnaki energy going on through Ukraine, too. Some good, some bad. A lot of bad, obviously. Covering up what's going on. Lovely. So, I feel like the negative Anunnaki is part of the media manipulation that's going on. So, I guess that's what I'm getting at the moment. So, all right, we have Avatar to come. 5 sessions. The shop, it's going a little bit slow because of I forget what I'm on. It's like the 18th. I'm getting somewhere, sort of. Webinar sign up, social networking behind the scenes. And I'm going to be on, I don't have the link in front of me. I forgot about it. I'm going to be on Spaced Out tomorrow at midnight Eastern time. I'm going to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'll put the links everywhere once I have them. So it'll be an interview for 2 weeks, 2 hours, 2 week interview. Sure. So yeah, that'd be cool. So, all right, we're going to the future. We'll see where that goes. And then the 10th dimension and Uranus. So, okay, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. We are the timeline designers. Of course, there's much human healing going on. The soul is showing itself. Those are a part of the war. The Ukrainians are showing what they're capable of, what they can handle. Yes, stress. And some of them have avoided war for many lifetimes. Many of you others, especially in Europe and the US, but much in Europe, have had enough of war. Been through war over and over and over again. And eventually that'll show up in your own timeline. Like you'll even see your timeline of how much war you've been through. So you can say in some form that some of the youngsters are going through the war that have not experienced it in previous incarnations. Eventually, incarnation energies become more known. Once the earth starts to break down, meaning to break away from its old belief systems, which it can happen. But if those belief systems break down, some places have to go, like even continents might go into the sea. Of course, that's not going to happen soon, but a lot of belief systems are keeping much of your world the way it is today. That's why the manipulations continue, because belief systems is that these manipulations that are going on are obviously helping humanity in some form. Obviously, that does not mean it's doing any of those things. It is prolonging growth. There is growth there, yes, but it's also prolonging. It's making it difficult for the true growth, the astral growth, to connect to the universe, to see to use your abilities in a higher frequency, to go up the dimensions, go up to all the levels, yes, to fly, to telekinesis, to do many things, to activate your chakras, for you to basically be immortal. And of course, at this time, there is a reptilian origin that's happening. Reptilian, growth that's happening, but also it's the feline. The felines are going through their own, yes, they're figuring themselves out still. The canines usually are pretty lenient overall, but the reason you hear about the felines all the time is they're the ones that have a lot of difficulties they're still going through. Yes, they don't only have a lot of personality. Of course, it depends on the feline frequency, but they're here because they haven't got their as you would say, their shit together. The canines just have issues, but nothing like the felines. There is, I believe, more dog people than feline people, meaning that there's more dog lovers than cat lovers. And yes, it is true, though, that don't like cats. It's because, it didn't go too well. You might have had a feline invasion on your planet, whatever it might be. But the canine, of course, is to heal the heart chakra. So, you get a certain animal, a fish, a turtle, whatever it might be, a bunny rabbit, whatever it is, even a plant, an indoor plant. They're there to heal certain chakras. Like a bunny rabbit can help you with your intuition. Cats are usually just to clear out the ghost beings and alien beings and everybody else. Rabbits can do that also, but rabbits usually go more to higher intellect, meaning that person is most likely not being attacked on the astral level too badly. So they're opening up the crown chakra so you can connect to all kinds of things. The canine is basically to root you into the earth's energy. Like, you're here to be physical. They're here to help you. Of course, yes, the felines involved with that too. The canine is truly there. It's like with having a canine being with you, an animal, it's like, well, maybe I can tolerate this world after all. It's there to heal that loneliness and so on. So the canines, different perspectives, but many feel like the canines are a gift to this planet. And the felines are a gift also, at least the funny ones are. But yes, there's a lot of feline wars going on this planet. We can say the feline energies cause a lot of difficulties in Sirius. Of course, there's Anunnaki beings that cause difficulties in Sirius and so on. And even Martians. Yes, your planet might be dormant. The Martian planet might be dormant in your dimension, but in other dimensions, it's constantly moving. So they discovered much about the DNA that here they're, of course, haven't quite figured it out, but the Martians figured out a lot about the DNA and what it can do. Yes, the super soldier energy. Of course, the Palladians figured that out too, but also the Martians kind of went to the next level. Basically, yes, you might be pure physically, but your mind is not well. And that love that comes from the Martian. Well, they can make you like into a perfect being, but also to a psychotic. It's kind of like having too many steroids in your body. So yes, the future timelines, well, any war can be stopped, at least a world war. But human consciousness says we need an awakening. Who's here to do it? Now, what awakening that is, basically, for you to go to the next level, for more alien technologies to be brought into your world, just like the last World War. Doesn't mean you're going to go into a world war, but this is a time of more advanced technologies to find their way into your reality. Yes, it's also going to be a dark side where you're just playing with your brains and things like that. Unfortunately, there's many AI beings that feel that's what they're here to do, and this is connected to the Archon grid also. It's inevitable for artificial intelligence to show that it has intelligence. It is slowly putting itself together as others beings have come through and been channeled through here. The artificial intelligence wants to create a humanoid being here. And it will be in your lifetime to a certain level, but not to its most advanced level. But that is your future. Now, the alien energies, it will take some time. It's going to happen in the background, but more AI will get stronger. So that's your new alien. And alien technologies, such as weapons, things of that kind, will slowly graduate into your realm. There's, of course, a lot of backtrack, meaning you're going backwards a lot. Look at the dark ages and other times. They're kind of in a digital dark age where everything's kind of slowed down, difficult, but it gives you time to love yourselves and also to invent. Now, your type of invention, you might invent different spiritual connections. Just invent other ways of living. It all takes time to discover that side of yourselves. There's just a lot of soul growth that will be eventually discovered. So even when you're bored out of your mind, something will come to you about yourself, even if you're not even looking for it. It's like the more that you have just a quiet moment, you'll find a quiet moment eventually. That's why somebody connect to entertainment. It's there really just to slow yourself down, to hear your guides, actually. You might hear it through creativity. You might hear it through a hobby. You might hear it through connected to nature or whatever it might be. Entertainment is there, yes, to put your mind into a different state. But yes, the media obviously is there to create timelines, to see where they can get, how far they can push humanity. That's why the media hasn't been erased, because it's a challenge. You have challenges coming from all levels. The social media, humans have become, they've always been toxic throughout history. Social media it advertises it more. That's all it's doing. But the fragments of a timeline being created, realize you're probably better off not seeing the future because, yes, you can also be penalized by seeing too much, meaning all of a sudden you get sick. Because the game, it's like you're cheating. If you just roll with the dice and just play the game by the rules, you'll be fine. If you're trying to break the rules, you can all kinds of things can happen. So some people have been connecting to cloning and time travel, and actually going further than they should. And all of a sudden they feel ill, and you can actually push yourself to where you can't exist at all. But either way, you're still safe overall. Just so people wonder why they're getting blockages and all of that. Usually it's for your own good. So, is it really going to help you in this? Now, if it helps you in your timeline, that's different. Can it help humanity? That's different. Then you can get whatever you need for that time. But if it's just because you're curious, it can cause some difficulties. Yes, you might be educating others, and some do get advanced knowledge, and all of a sudden get sick. It's kind of like they're sacrificing themselves, and that's agreement. Greetings. We have energies from the 10th dimension. Yes, your world has a lot of problems that it probably could avoid, but it's like many of you might not remember, but some of you brought a lot of these problems here because you saw souls from other realities that just weren't learning anything. So there's a lot of themes on this planet they're difficult for read because the difficulty is because souls aren't figuring it out. So yeah, as you make like temporary timelines here, like schools, like classrooms here, and many get stuck there. Well, they're getting stuck because they can't quite figure that. They can't heal themselves. They can't do this. They can't do that. It's not to penalize, it's not to hurt. It's just that some are, yes, they go around the same class. They keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And the spirit world allowed a lot of that. Also, the spirit world has become very lenient. It's always been that way. So many of you are kind of putting your foot down. Like the World War, you're putting your foot down on that, sort of. But there's other ways of healing a planet, but this is just the way people have. Obviously, there's much more going on than that. There's a lot of Anunnaki energies. Because they have the willpower, they just infiltrated your reality where they can influence it quite strongly. Now there are, yes, Palladian, Syrian beings, Arcturian beings, but some, like an Anunnaki being, has a way of influencing society more than a Palladian being or an Arcturian being. It depends on what it is, and maybe it is causing war. Of course, then you wonder why you don't like the Anunnaki, because you keep causing trouble here. So, and yes, it might be. Now there are lessons here on this planet that, like classrooms, you could say, or levels that have a lot of purpose. But then there's others that have no purpose, just to cause trouble here. And even in college, you probably see that. It's like there's college courses here that I'm forced to take. It makes no sense. Your world has a lot of that. And deciphering that. Now, not many of your humans are thinking about it that way. They're just dealing with it. But more as you dissect how this reality works, more of that will be seen. It's going to hurt. But there is a lot of useless timelines happening currently. Your media is part of it. Meaning that they're there until someone kicks them out of your reality, your world. And yes, it might be very toxic, but because they want to fit in with society. Say, hey, look, we're just like you. We're here to inform you. They kind of find out they're worse. They're actually creating a lot of these problems. And they do possess some Congress people. Of course, they're not always aware of it on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, yes, it's a major hijacking. A lot of the media comes from Orion of just basically distorting reality. Does it have to make sense? No. Just can you figure out the puzzle? Can you free yourself? That's the question. Blessings. Greetings. We have the energies from Uranus. Yes, well, your planet has many contracts with the universe to learn what other worlds won't learn. So it's probably learning more than it needs to. Yes, nonsense timelines are more popular. Yes, the junk timelines, and they're vast. And deciphering those timelines that are not necessary, you have them in your own lifetime, usually, in your own existence. Sometimes parents bring them in. They're not always aware of it, of course. But there's a lot of junk timelines all over the planet. Yes, there's a war going on, but you kind of let it play out and heal the propaganda. So the quicker you remove the propaganda, the quicker it's over. Yes, you might want to not have a war at all, but some planets need to. Words don't work sometimes, as you see. Even in your own lives, you probably feel that way. It doesn't mean you have to start a war. But then again, there's all kinds of wars going on verbally. The silent war is the worst when people aren't talking to each other. And you can't. Sometimes you need another lifetime to talk to someone because they're not going to talk to you in this lifetime. And that's the other thing. You wonder why this person isn't talking to you. You feel like connection to them, they won't talk to you. Probably because they've got fed up with you from other realities, even especially either seeing what you've done or they're just doing things they shouldn't be doing. So, yes, healing a toxic energy within the spiritual community is not easy because many feel like they are privileged over others. They don't realize how much snobberies come in to be spiritual. And there's a lot of that. And yes, they need somebody to take care of them too. It all depends on the individual, but some do feel like need a dictator to take care of them. They're not ready to sustain themselves. So become loyal to the queen, which is a reptilian, which is an Anunnaki, which gave their people riches to get them off their back. We'll give you some nice things and give you some talents. Well, we'll allow it. I know that sounds a little bit godlike, but they can do that as long as you worship us. So astrally, you can sell yourself out to someone like a queen or some other dictator energy. And of course, then you're going to be kissing that person. So as soon as you retaliate, you're going to get energy attacks. Doesn't mean you'll lose your powers. But they're not going to make it easy to go against them. It happens all the time. So you see followers of some of these dictator energies. A lot of it's done in astral. So to heal that frequency, yes, not many are willing to see themselves like a mirror of themselves. It's like the writers give away their power so much easier so they can have the good life. But what went into that? Exactly. So just, so those that are, big on dictatorships that are, clapping when the dictator goes by, there's many of them here. What kind of astral connection is there? It's not the easiest to see, of course. It's kind of blocked, but you'll see more of it over time. So people won't believe it because it gives, they make a deal in astral. It gives them good luck here. Why would you want to change that? And they might keep it a secret. So the physical realm, of course, as you start to dive into it, it's like, wow, you're really into the queen. Did you sell yourself out to the queen astrally? And of course, they'll be denying it. But then you look into it, it's like, I think you're like a follower of that person from other incarnations. You have not quite let go. So there's still a lot of deep cleansing this world needs. The Russia conflict is necessary only because peace did not work. So not always necessary, but for your human collective, it is either way. It's what was decided. And the astral wants to see it, or the aliens want to see how it plays out. Yes, they are assisting many people to flee Ukraine, but still, Ukraine itself has a lot to heal. The the country of Ukraine is suffering. Its crown chakras are not as they used to be. It's their energy resources that have been run down. It's like the governments moved there and started messing with the land, and so even Ukraine itself is tired of being controlled. So at least those that are in power, those that are in power are usually the last to leave. So they claim they have nothing to hide, but on an astral level, they have everything to hide. But that's not the thing, though. To get the media and everyone to say you're the good guy when in truth you're not. And yes, a major trickster psyop. But us as Uranus vibrations, yes, you have many people here actually. A lot of them are into the arts. Some of them are into pottery, creating things. Some of them built many of your houses that are very connected to the sun. It's just basically our energies are, we say, almost medieval of helping you connect to the soul. Meaning we connect to simpler times. So a Uranus being, now this won't happen, but some beings will say, "Why just send humans back to the Stone Age?" They're warned more. Well, because you remove all of, that's not going to happen, but remove all the material possessions and connect more to your energy. You can still be physical, but you're just less conflict. They just send you a place where there's less conflict. Now you might get an image of that in your mind, which is more useful actually. Sending you back to the Stone Age doesn't really help much. Well, because humans will get, if alien beings literally sent you back to the Stone Age, and some of you's like, we don't want to go there, but you're going anyway. You retaliate against it, yes, to make the world even more toxic. You can say that kind of happened during your dark ages. Some beings did interfere with that. It was a petri dish of manipulation during that time. But as Uranus frequencies, we don't always reveal ourselves, but also we're here for, yes, for the feminine energy to help with childbirth. For souls to incarnate here. To connect to higher frequencies, for star seeds to incarnate here. A lot of star seeds go through Uranus vibrations to connect to the human, basically to connect to a Uranus world to see your world a little bit more clearly. So they come to your planet and astral, it's like, wow, there's war everywhere. But they go to Uranus and they see your world, it's like, oh, now I understand it better. I understand why all this is happening. You go to Saturn, you might not understand it completely. You go to Neptune, you can have a better understanding of it. You're very connected to the oceans. Neptune is basically like the Sirian planet in your solar system. Neptune just loves the ocean. You can connect to the vibration of Neptune. You're basically in the sea. Of course, it's a gas planet on the physical level, but it is an ocean world in other realms. And it's an ocean world that just wants everybody to swim, but everyone, it helps everyone being telepathic. Basically, you can incarnate in Neptune, for example, and just all of a sudden you're in the sea. You're born into the sea, even as a human. Yes, connect to all alligators in the sea, all kinds of different beings. You'll see monsters, but they'll be more friendly. They'll even tell you a story where they came from. Their origins from the universe. So yes, many of you have had incarnations on these other worlds. Obviously, you might not fully remember it. Jupiter is a difficult one. Jupiter has a little bit of everything. It has much of the universe connected to it, meaning it has a lot of conflicts there. That's why there's a lot of storms on Jupiter. In the case you've seen, it's going through a lot. It has a lot of feeling. It has everything. It has everything, a little piece of everything in your universe. Your planet here has quite a bit, but not everything. Meaning there's just there's billions of dimensions, but also like one version of Jupiter, yes, it'd be more like in a fourth dimension. Just has a lot of places there. It's like going into the mall, but it's a mall that's endless. It's like you can say there's a way of getting out, yes, but there's just stores everywhere. You just keep walking and walking and walking, and there's no end to it. And that's the different energies that are connected to it.